Louisville, USA. Home to UPS, a giant of global package delivery. Their mega shipment machine whirring to the roar of over 500 planes, air freighting to 220 countries.
Hello, Dan. Ready for a hot launch?
Yeah, I am.
With the bulk of volume, time-critical next-day air, any major disruption can cause service meltdown.
Let's go.
So when all else fails, the brave men that fly to the rescue are the hot spares.
The hot spare program recovers about 1 million packages a year. So there's packages somewhere that need some help getting to their destination. The reason why we're here is to ensure that the packages will not be late.
They make an unlikely pair of guardian angels, but Rob and First Officer Dan must scramble to replace any cancelled flights from things like mechanical failure or sickness and ensure that packages are delivered on time.
It's the captain's job to do a full walk-around.
When on call, their first task is to check their MD-11 aircraft.
We're going to make sure overall integrity of the airplane is in good airworthy shape. We're going to start off with the tires. Just look at general condition of the tire. Make sure the tread is all appropriate. Tires are good. All the bolts are in place. That all looks good. They're all there. Nice integrity. If one of those is loose, as we're rolling down the runway, a tire would be out of balance. And that's the last thing we want to do is lose a tire on the takeoff. We want to make sure that all these brake lines are intact. And there's no fluid dripping on the ground. We look in here. We look to see if there's any fluid on the ground. The outside of the engine, overall looks good. Then we'll look inside. Looking at the nacelle, making sure there's no dents on the nacelle. Looking at all the fan blades, everything's intact. There's no obvious dents or nicks. All looks good.
Their schedule-saving weapon of choice today is a McDonnell Douglas MD-11, a tireless long-distance wide-bodied workhorse of UPS's fleet.
Okay, engine fire test.
As Captain Rob prowls his aircraft outside,
Overspeed.
inside, First Officer Dan is checking the aircraft's myriad electronic systems.
The MD-11 has a lot of automatic features, so I just really check a lot of the automatic systems are doing their intended function.
Stabilizer.
Because when we get airborne, it's hard for us to go ahead and correct anything if anything breaks.
God forbid. And a great motivator for Captain Rob to leave no stone unturned.
Looking at the leading edge, this is a very common area to get bird strikes, so making sure there's no remains of birds, making sure there's no dents, no cracks, and overall integrity of the leading edge. I probably experience a bird strike once a month or so, and it can be very loud in the airplane. If it hits the nose area, it sounds like anti-aircraft fire sometimes when it hits really hard, and it really wakes you up. But they usually get out of the way because we always win if it's a competition between us and a bird.
Once they've scrupulously examined their big metal bird, they do it all over again with a written checklist.
Off.
Seatbelts off. Emergency power off. Fuel switch.
We'll spare you those exhaustive details.
Off. Radar off.
Once done, the MD-11 is given the seal of approval.
All right, the pre-flight's been complete. I'm going to put a seal on the door, and this indicates the aircraft is in the exact same position that I left it. So we can open the door, break the seal, do a few pre-flight checks, and get pushed back in relatively quickly.
In Louisville, USA, hot spares duo Captain Rob and First Officer Dan are like tightly coiled springs.
The aircraft's ready for a hot launch. We basically sit and wait.
Poised to fly and replace any cancelled UPS flight to rescue their package delivery.
The interesting thing about the hot spare is you could go just about any place. So I generally pack for about a week at a time. Sometimes we go to a place where it's cold, really cold. We'll go up to Anchorage in the middle of the winter, and then we'll continue on to Asia, where it happens to be really, really hot. You never know where you're going to wind up. So it is incredibly dynamic.
While flight crew wait for any hot launch, they're royally looked after, with a comfortable lounge, dormitories, and a dark chill room. And of course, the staple for whiling away time, the TV room.
Probably tell I've never turned this TV on.
Dan's the man who can unravel frighteningly complex aircraft systems.
Maybe it's for the other TV. Can't even turn the TV off.
Not as it appears. A simple TV.
I have no idea whether or not they're going to go ahead and call us, so I could sit here for the next 8 hours in case we get the call. Right now, it's the calm before the storm, and from midnight to 4 a.m., this place is pretty busy. It's Grand Central Station, New York City equivalent here at about midnight.
As the hours tick by at Worldport, Rob and Dan stay on alert. Until...
Attention crew members, with the MD-11 hot crew, please report to the jump seat desk. The MD-11 hot crew, please report to the jump seat desk.
All right, that's us. We go.
All right, looks like we've been called out. Let's go find Dan.
Marcus, we'll see you later.
We have 45 minutes from the minute that we are notified that we're going to be on a hot launch to the minute where we actually push back. You ready?
We're headed.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Aviation has long periods of boredom followed by short periods of sheer terror. You start to get your game face on. There's still a lot of things we don't necessarily know exactly where our destination is, but we know we have an aircraft that's already pre-flighted. You know, a little bit of pressure, but we want to get the aircraft out on time to go rescue our cargo. We still have some last-minute work to do. We have to program the FMS with our flight plan. We have to get the current weather, get our current clearance. So there's a lot of things that happen in the very last few minutes of the flight. There's a little bit of adrenaline going, but as soon as we take off, get up to altitude, can relax a little bit and worry about our destination and our landing. All right, clear to push, and we'll get on our way.
Okay.
Let's get the bird in the air.
And just like that, our delivery Batman and Robin, Dan and Rob, are on their way to rescue yet another batch of packages in distress.